A little further into that. We're gonna lean into winning scripts. Now, I want to start with coming out of Charlotte, North Carolina. This is really what's been working for me. I do quite a bit of business on listings. Um, and as of recently, gosh, picked up a listing this week. So much so that I kind of gotten a little spoiled. I can say that I turn the water on and off, right? On command or on demand. Where there's some moments I kind of choose, and something that I don't want to tell you guys to try at home, but when you get to a certain comfort zone and a certain level of confidence, it is pretty spectacular to lean into. So I'm gonna share a little bit of the script that I use, but there are a lot of great scripts out there. And I think for all of us, what we want to be able to do is get on the phone for the most part, right? And that's where I do a lot of my business, but be able to either get on the phone or talk to people in person or be able to, when I say talk to people in person, like you're out and about, you're at a cafe, um, places of interest that you already go and you're not necessarily buying admission to get into. So when I think of that, we call that here in Charlotte the 3-foot rule. Um, and if you know Sean, who's also the partner and president here in Charlotte, North Carolina, this is something that he shared with me, and it's worked wonders. I want to say the way it works is, and he'll say he has his own definition, but the way it works is if someone is within 3 feet of you, you are obligated to go and talk to them. Okay, and that can look like saying hello or even just sharing some commentary. So I never let on that I'm a real estate agent. I basically just start talking. Okay, and I find that in most cases, people will share their opinions as well. And once they start sharing that, then you're building what? Rapport. So in this meeting, what I want to be able to share with you guys is how important it is not just to build rapport, but to have an idea of how to even start the conversation, those winning conversations, the one that allows you to essentially get a phone number, okay? Ideally. And when you're not collecting a phone number, you're at a minimum getting an email address, okay? So um, this is going to be interactive. I definitely want you guys to lean and pour in because I think we're all coming from different markets, and some of us are on the buy side for that matter, and it doesn't really change at all. From the buy side, from which I actually my career was birthed from, I too had to know exactly how I'm going to talk to buyers, how to generate business. But right now, it's mostly over the phone. I'm so comfortable with sellers right now, specifically because I had to. My lifestyle is that I have children. So ideally, it's great when I can jump on the phone, schedule appointments, secure those appointments with a listing agreement, and then put that home in the market to sell. Right now, given the market that you're in, here in Charlotte, we're seeing a lot of sellers. Okay. It doesn't mean I should stop working with sellers because we are seeing such an unprecedented amount over the last 4 years. But it tells me, though, it is probably time to start the adaptation game. What am I going to do to build a buyer funnel? So that's something I can get into in a short while. But I definitely want to lean in. I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see a little bit about what kind of script I'm using that I've uh, pulled from other resources and pretty much made it my own. So let me pull that script up for us. And yeah, really, guys, thank you guys for hanging in there. We were working through some technical difficulties, and I'm glad we got through. So I really, really, really appreciate it. So just bear with me a second here. And there'll be a couple things I will share as well, um, in addition to what a winning script should sound or look like. So I'm about to share my screen. I just pulled up the script. Give me a moment here. Let me find that share button. so you guys can dig in with me. One moment here. Okay. Here we go. Perfect. So we're sharing the screen now. Excellent. All right. So what you should be looking at is a script that I'm using. Can anyone confirm that they can see this? They can either, nice if you say something, but if you want to put it in the chat. Right now, I got Rose leaning in, showing me that she's able to see things. Share device audio. Can anybody see my screen right now?
Yes, I can see it.
Yes.
I'm not sure if my audio is working well. There we go. Did
Can
someone
you
say
hear us
yes?
now?
Perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. Excellent, excellent. So this script was created because I want to be able to say that I was getting hung up a lot, okay? I want to say for every 1,500 calls, I would get an appointment, which is a lot of calls. So, you know, it's important to, no matter how good you think you are, to role play. So this script was cultivated out of role playing, um, understanding what a breathing exercise means. So I'm just going to jump right into it, okay? I'm going to read this, given that we're not on a call, but let me know if you have any questions. So I start with their first name. So in this case, because I know Rose so well, we go way, way, way back, right? I'm just going to use Rose's name just for the purpose of example. So if I called you, and again, this works differently for everyone, okay? But for me, this is how I approach the business. And then on occasion, I do tweak as I go. I even keep a bit of a book that tells me how every call has gone. And I do it just in two things. I'll say things like after the call is over, it's important for me to say two things when I did well, which is a little gratification for me, and then two things I want to change going into the next call. And somehow my brain makes the adaptation and I apply it. And sometimes I don't apply it so well. But the point is, I'm making an earnest effort to create a better and more efficient call going into the next call. So in this call, I would say, if I called you, it would be more like ring, ring, ring. Um, Rose would answer and say hello. I would say, Rose. Now, the question mark and exclamation mark, the reason why I said I put that in is because I sometimes can get the number wrong, or sometimes I'm talking to someone that is other than Rose, but oftentimes it's so that the other side doesn't say, oh boy, it's a telemarketer, hang up, okay? If I said, is this Mrs. Rose? Sometimes I find that, boom, they hang up. So I leave the call with their name, because oftentimes I would have their name. I use a system called Mojo, which pulls from my database. So it gets it right, but sometimes it doesn't. So in this case, I would say Rose, Rose, and Rose would likely say, yes, this is Rose. Got a quick question for you. The property on 123 Main Street, you still don't own that, do you? Now I'm gonna stop right there. Now, did you hear the inflections of the call? Inflections meaning the tone, how my voice pattern changed during that call. Did anybody recognize that?
Yes.
You
Yeah.
did, right? So all of that to say is the role play helped me with other partners and other peers, helped me develop that inflection. Because certain inflections that you use, if it's an upward inflection, it can cite misinformation, or that you're just throwing out a line and you're trying to see what you get, right? Versus a downward inflection that says, I know who I'm talking to and I'm quite confident that I am. Okay. If I did an upward inflection, it would have sounded like this. The property on 123 Main Street, you still own that? Do you? You hear the misinformation, or that I'm fishing, At that point, you're like, what do you want? Oh, you know what? Click. Okay, trust me. This has been my experience. Okay. So, and everyone can have that golden touch that's a little differently, that works differently. Maybe someone else on this call can get away with that upward inflection. Um, but that downward inflection is a confidence inflection that I'm actually calling the right person. I know who I'm talking to. You still don't own that property, do you? Yeah. So if you're doing this already, or if you're not doing this, try it. Okay. It can only give you more information. There is no failure. All right. It's only learn. All right. Are you guys connecting with this? Any questions so far?
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
getting it. I was just trying to like say it myself and try to create that downward inflection when reading that phrase.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, because it's a real breathing exercise. I put an underline on it because I want to point out that whoever is reading this, right, after they've may have read it with me, right, that they understand that something happens here. The moment I start with you still don't own that, do you? You know, do you think you want to try that now? You want to just breathe through that and say you don't still own that, do you?
Okay, so the property on
Mhm.
123 Main Street, you still don't own that, do you?
Great, perfect,
Yeah?
perfect. That's it. You know, so and by hearing that, I already hear confidence. Do you? And then I can say at that point, I'm like, oh, and now I'm answering a question versus I'm hearing you fishing for even if you have the right person, or you eliminated to me by at least I want to say 30% that you're not a telemarketer. You know who I am, strangely enough. And now I want to answer that question. Yeah, I do. How can I help you? And now I go into my introduction. All right. Now, in this script, I'm gonna go through it. I'm the local selling realtor and aware of a lot of buyers interested in buying a home just like that one. Okay. Now, I'm gonna give it a little pause. You guys give me some feedback on that particular sentence. What are you hearing? What is that? How does that connect with you? Anyone?
And
Okay.
I mean, it makes it sound like you're
Hmm.
giving them like the attention that that you have a couple of buyers that
Hmm.
are strictly interested in that specific house. Like
Bingo.
you, yes,
Yep. Exactly. Now, I can tell you that agents are not doing that. They're not.
no,
They're not. You already have something to offer, right? Like,
correct.
and it's very specific to this home. Like, oh my gosh, this not a fishing expedition? Well, this home, like the one with the pink walls and the dinosaur alligator and made out of metal on the front of your yard, this one? I thought it was so unique. I didn't think anybody would want it. Yeah. Um, if someone called me and said that they had a buyer that was interested in a home that looks just like this one, I'm listening. My listening turns on. I'm like, okay, huh, okay, you have my attention, right? So I may have just earned with this script, with this last sentence, an extra 10 to 15 seconds. Okay. And that's what the script is. That's what scripts are for. Scripts are there designed to buy you more time, right? And to be able to get in the right questions and secure an appointment. So I'm going to read the script one more time. Okay. Um, here we go. Um, I'm going to start from you still don't. So you still don't own that property, do you? It's going to be yes, I still do. Oh, great, great, great. I don't have oh great in there. Oh, great, great, great. I'm the local selling realtor I'm a local selling realtor and aware of a lot of buyers interested in buying a home just like that one. So my question for you is, would you be open to selling the property if it made sense financially? I'm gonna stop right there. Okay. Um, Even reading the script again, I want to edit it because what I'm leaning into here was I'm letting them know I'm asking them a question, and then I'm talking about what makes sense financially, you know? Um, any feedback? Give me some feedback, guys. How do you think this would this work? Is this something that if you heard that you would give it you give it a time of day, or maybe not? Anybody have
Dwayne,
any feedback? Yes.
I have a question. So,
Shoot.
I was probably one of the last people to log on, so I apologize if you already communicated this, but
Oh, good.
the person that you're calling, is it an expired, a FISBO?
Mm,
It's because
yeah.
if
Mm-hmm.
calling a FISBO,
Right.
I would think that they'd say, yeah, I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to market. If you have a buyer for me, then
Yeah.
yeah, I'm open to selling
Yeah.
it. And if you
Yeah.
don't have a bunch of buyers interested in buying a home just like that one,
Mm-hmm.
how would you handle it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a great question. Great question. So um, and I didn't say that, so it is a great question. I mentioned that yes, this is for sellers, but there are different breeds of sellers. So I've been able to apply this successfully with expires, with FISBOs. um, I tweak it a little bit with with off-market properties, especially. I love it actually more so for off-market properties, with some light tweaking, but essentially it all boils down to what makes sense financially for them to consider a conversation to sell the home. So yes, and if I did a FISBO, I mean, I could role play that with you right now. Would you be open to that? I can be the agent. You can be the FISBO. Fair?
Okay, but I'm going to be a jerk, just so you know.
You want to be a jerk already? All right. My goodness. Nice to meet you. How about that? Huh? My goodness. Oh, I didn't even know your name. I just know the word jerk is already synonymous with this question.
Yes,
Okay. So who am I speaking to? Who am I graced to speak with today?
this is Shahida.
Shahida. Okay, Shahida. So for the sake of the call, because this is more of a training exercise, I want to pull back on the jerkism, right?
Okay.
And we're, let's just flow with the script, and then I'll give you a second chance to be a jerk. Okay?
So for now, I'm going with the flow.
You're going with the flow,
Okay.
yeah. Because we want to just breathe through the script, right? For the sake of the audience, and then if we have enough time, you can take a swing at me and you know try to kick my teeth in. Is that fair?
Okay. Sounds
All
good.
right. All right. Very good.
You sold
Um,
me.
that quickly. Damn. All right. Where's the contract? So here we go. Let me make sure I get your name again. Can I have your, can you
Shahida.
just, Shahida, how do I spell that?
Shaheda.
Shahida. Okay. Shahida. Shahida. All right. Very good. All right. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello?
Shahida?
Yes.
Hey, Shahida, I had a quick question for you. Property here on 123 Main Street. You still don't own that, do you?
Yes, I do. How
Oh,
can I help
great.
you?
Great, great, great. Shahida, I'm a local selling realtor and aware of a lot of buyers interested in buying a home just like that one. My question for you, Shahida, is would you be open to selling the property if it made sense financially?
Sure. I don't see why not.
All right, I'll stop right there, all right, because you were just too easy, all right? I'm uncomfortable with that. Like, sure, I got to stop right there, okay? But for the sake of the audience, right? They all saw how I breathed through that exercise. Um, and the thing is that usually when I get to make sense financially, generally people get a little pause. They're like, I can hear the wheels turning because essentially I didn't say to, I didn't give you a number. So I'm putting the ball in your court to say what makes sense financially to move forward. Okay. Did you connect with that, Shahida? Does that make sense to you for now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Um, so generally after I get past it makes sense financially, and if you notice when I went through the script, I said your name a few times. And and I added words like great. Oh, great, great. Oh man, like I want to give the perception that I've been hunting for this home that looks just like what my buyers have been interested in. And I finally found it. And here you are. I'm like, oh, great, great. Hey, listen, what would make sense financially? Now I'm gonna take a step back, right? If you noticed, I'm saying that I have a buyer, right? Which I do. It's not false information. Of course I got buyers, right? Specific to this home, maybe, definitely, right? However, if I get the home sold, does it really matter? If I'm able to secure the listing, get the home sold, wouldn't that be awesome? And generally, after when I go to these homes, right, I'll get into this a little later, right? I generally share with them, some general information about why my buyer may or may not be interested. In other words, it's going to be the verbiage I use is, my buyer is still interested. However, I'm just curious. You don't really you don't have any competition. So is there a reason why you're not selling the property on the market, and get them to open up even further? And then orchestrate the conversation enough where they're like, well, you know what, Duane? You made a good point. Like, this is the only buyer we have. And this guy can walk away. Like you said, buyers are fickle. They come and they go. And I would hate to start packing and then have to get all excited, unpack, I'll consider listing the home. Maybe I will sell the home. How much do you think you can get for it, Duane? Now I'm being asked a professional question. Okay. Anyone has any feedback on that before I move forward? Does it make sense, Shahida?
Yes, it
Okay,
does.
it does, right? And this is what some of the listing greats are doing. Okay, they are using, if not the same verbiage, but they're announcing that, hey, have you ever thought about, how much you can get for your home? What would make sense? It's the same thing. Okay, with the exception of we're being even more direct by personalizing it to their home. That's why this script works. That's why you can apply it to expires, buyers, off-market properties. You can tweak it to your own. Happy to share it, of course. But this script, I would call, for me, the winning script. Generally in 15 minutes, 30 minutes, I find that people connect with me and they're like, okay, you can come by and take a look, and oftentimes they sign. And if they don't sign, there's a compelling reason. There's probably just not enough equity in the home, or maybe there's something else. But the moment they ask me to come by, then yes, that home is for sale. Anyway, and thank you for that, Shahida, for giving me the opportunity to kind of breathe through the script. When I usually get to what makes it, the moment that Shahida said, yeah, I'll consider selling, my job at that point is to qualify the lead. Okay. So I'll ask some very softball qualifying questions, right? And to qualify the lead, meaning yeah, if I had a buyer, this is something I would want to know. What do you like about the community? Now we're having a conversation. How long have you been living in the community? What would you change about the community? This is a question I love to ask. It gets them to really just keep going, right? And I'm always with a pen and I'm always writing things down. I add the average person. So when they said, so Shahida, how long you been living in this home?
About 5 years.
5 years. Okay. Shahida, what do you like most about this community?
The neighbors.
The neighbors.
Pretty
Okay.
much we all look out for one another.
One another. Oh, that's awesome, man. Awesome. Anything else? Maybe one more?
Great amenities
Great
for when
amenities.
I'm entertaining, can take my
Okay.
guests over to the community
Gotcha.
pool.
Okay. Now, in the 5 years you've been there, what would you change?
I mean, if I were to move, it wouldn't be necessarily because of the neighborhood. It's more so I wanted
Yeah.
to downsize.
Oh, okay. 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 And I feel an adaptation coming here, right? I think what I want to do is change that question into what would you change in your next community, right? I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna add that later. Thanks, Shahida. She helped me out with that. Because when you answered that question, you're like, it's not a reason to move. I'm like, wait a minute, but I want you to move. So yeah, I'm gonna update this to say, Oh, in your next, because you've been here already in this community for 5 years, what would you change in your next community? Because you already admitted to selling. You're ready to sell to some degree. And I understand now, right? Maybe amenities would be something, and so on and so forth. So, so because you told me how long you've been in your home, it gives me an opportunity here, right? I'm gonna read this. It says, the average person, if you can see this, I'm gonna highlight it. The average person stays in their home 4 to 7 years, okay? So you must really like your home, like your community, or can't get out, right? That's my little joke. It's even funnier when I do it in full speed. Yeah. But yeah, Shahida's laughing. Okay, so it's working. Okay. Especially if you can't get out, right? That's a real answer. As far as sarcastic as it sounds, some people can't get out. They don't have enough equity, all right? Or maybe there's some other challenges, okay? And then I can get into a whole nother conversation about updates, and just make it more conversational. That's our goal, is to be their friend, their best friend. So anyone has any feedback, any questions before I turn it over to Shahida with her baseball bat? No? Okay. As a question for you guys, how often does anyone here role play? Does anyone do much role play at all?
I don't really do any role playing. Hi, this is Yami. I don't really do any
Yami.
role playing, but
Mm-hmm.
I've always shied away from cold calling.
Mm.
And I actually signed up for
Mm-hmm.
Mojo and haven't used it in about 3 months.
3 months.
And the money is there. I know it is,
Mm-hmm.
but I just tend to shy away from cold calling. But it's something that I feel like
Yeah.
if I can just get over that hump and just doing it, I can really go hard, right?
Yeah.
Because
Hell
I'm
yeah.
really determined. Now the thing is though,
Yeah.
so there's we can go different routes. We can go the expires, we can go the FISBO,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
it's having that right script and understanding the questions and why you're asking them the questions, what it is you're trying to get them to do. So as far as your script, I had the same question as Shahida in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
who does this work for? Is it just for
Yeah.
expireds? Because
Yeah.
okay, with an expired lead, they just recently had their home on the market. It didn't sell. It was probably priced right. It was probably marketed right because the previous agent
Probably.
obviously wants to sell,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So how do I come in and beat a home that was priced right?
Right.
It was marketed right, but
Mm-hmm.
the market just wasn't really calling. You know what I mean? The
Right.
market, like for example, right at this election, nothing like a lot of homes were not sell. Some were,
Yes.
but then there were a lot that weren't.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Right?
You know, that's a very real scenario because that's what's happening now in our market, right?
Right. So this is a true life
mhm.
scenario for me,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So and then so I had that concern, and also
Mhm.
can you give us these, are there like, do
Mhm.
you have scripts that you can actually post in the chat that we can,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was Mojo, by the way. I'm sorry. I just saw a
Good.
question. Forgive me, Duane. I saw a
No.
question and I'm just
Yeah.
answering it for the person who asked. Yes,
Oh.
it's Mojo, and I have
Mhm.
not been using it, by the way. I
Mhm.
haven't been taking
Yeah.
advantage of it, but I didn't cut it
Mhm.
off. Like I'm still paying for
Yeah.
it,
Still
but I
paying for
am
it.
still, I
Yeah.
just, because I know that
Yeah.
at some point I
Yeah.
want to break the ice.
Heck yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, man. I mean, once you break that ice, I mean, your whole life changes. I mean, you get your time back. And time is the one thing that is infinite, right? But yet still, if it's not used accordingly, it kind of just runs out. When I say
Facts.
runs out, like you don't live forever, right? I
No,
mean,
you don't. Yeah.
yeah, you don't live forever, and then take a step back. There's only about so much money we have, right, in our bank
Right,
accounts and
right.
our savings.
Mm-hmm.
Children, time with children, right? So right now, we got to be selfish, very selfish almost, right, for the greater good. So to answer your question, yes, I mean, like I started using this script originally for expireds.
Got
Okay.
it.
Yes, originally for expireds. Now started picking up, and with expires it was working. All right, it was phenomenal. It was working, getting appointments. What I noticed was that I'm spending a lot of time trying to qualify these expires, right? Meaning sometimes the numbers are wrong. Sometimes the expired is just not interested in selling at all. They love their home, considering where the market it's gone. They're like, listen, this is crazy out there, whatever the excuses are. So I moved over to FISBOs and started applying the same script. Okay.
All right. I don't mean to cut you off,
Sure.
Duane,
Sure.
but when it comes down to the expireds, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've noticed that soon
Mhm.
as, let's say, I'm going to speak on my behalf. I recently
Please.
lost a listing.
Mm.
The seller no longer wanted to sell, which made, sense for them. But so immediately, like within minutes that I
Mm.
took it off the market,
Yeah.
right? I canceled the listing.
Mhm.
He was flooded with calls.
That's normal.
What were they using to find them so quickly?
Well, the moment that someone puts their home on the market, and then it comes off, I mean, the moment you put it's public, it becomes now public information for really almost anyone. Like it's just a matter of what database they're looking at. Now, what database exactly is that? I'm really not sure. Like even if I knew what that database was, like it's what's more important to me, right, is how to get the next win. You know what I mean?
Facts, true,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because if you think about those things, it is really not going to all you care about is, you know what, I'm 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 already 4 and 5 steps ahead. So much so that if I could lose a listing, I'm okay. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, so it's a
yeah,
numbers game, right? It's a
yeah.
numbers game. So it shouldn't matter
hmm
how long, but you have a lot of
hmm
vultures out here, which we should be. Like I'm trying to be part
hmm
of the vulture team.
That's right. I think let's go.
And I'm sure everybody on this call is as well. I
Yeah,
don't really care how you feel about me. I just want to be
yeah,
part of the vulture team. So yeah, so
yeah,
if you can give any insight
yeah,
as to what
yeah.
platforms
Uh,
they're using, if
hmm
with the
hmm
Miami Association,
Sure, sure,
what
sure,
platforms,
sure.
and I know they talk about these hot sheets a lot.
hmm
I have
Oh my
not been doing
goodness.
that. Maybe
You
you
got
can
to get on
get
that.
enlighten us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man. So
Thank you.
talking about the hot sheets. So I'm in the Charlotte market, right? Which is lately doesn't really feel that much different from the Miami market. Like the price points have gone up. We're starting to see numbers starting to trickle down now, but more importantly, the interest rate, and then are we seeing enough buyers? Okay, my market, we're seeing a shortfall of buyers, but we are seeing mature buyers. When I say mature buyers, meaning I call them mature buyers because they've already owned a home and they had something to sell. And as a result, they're coming in heavy liquid, okay? Putting down large down payments. Now, my first time home buyer now, they're kind of not experiencing the same opportunities. They've either dropped out of the race or they've had to scale back on what they're asking the market to give back in terms of homes and per square footage. So now this is a time to really start looking at what tools you already have with your organization, the Miami-Dade or the Charlotte or wherever you are. Everything is cyclical. Okay, this has happened before. This is not the first time for anything. Maybe there's some things that are first time, but what we should be thinking about are using those hot sheets. Now those hot sheets become a marketing platform, particularly for our buyers, or especially if we're going to be on social media. So what I've been working on doing is going back to down payment assistance. Not saying this is something that everyone should do, but this is what's going to be relevant for me to pick up more buyers. At a minimum, even if they're not ready to buy now, start building up that funnel where maybe it's 2, maybe it's 3 months from now, maybe it's 4. And then eventually, with using that mindset, I'm going to have somebody ready to go right now or tomorrow. So what have I been doing in the last, I want to say in the last 2 to 3 weeks? Okay, I've had a rough, I want to say, the last 45 days. And just like you, where listings have chosen just to come off the market and just say, you know what, just forget it, because where we were going, it's just not even, it doesn't even make sense because we just don't want to pay that much in interest rate straight away. And what do I tell them? Hey, I totally get it. I'd rather keep the relationship than say, hey man, if you don't get it done now, it's never gonna get done, you know? But this is really after like, I don't know, over 100 days on the market. You know, to keep dropping the price point. You know, offers that coming over, you know, very, very low. You know, it can be a morale buster. So yes, learning more about what programs that's within your in your county for down payment assistance, right? And down payment assistance doesn't mean you have to find a home that's 200,000, 100,000. No, there are downs. I have a listing right now worth I think it's somewhere around 500,000, right? A little under 500,000. It's like 485,000 or something like that. Well, I was able to find a down payment assistance program that I can use to help my buyers, right? Make utilization of that down payment assistance program to help get into the home. They're willing to give them $15,000 or anywhere between up to $15,000 in down payment assistance. Now, what if I'm adding that to my verbiage on a daily basis? I don't want to necessarily, and then educate people that just because you're getting down payment assistance doesn't necessarily mean you can't make a down payment. It just means that you get to keep your money. And who doesn't want to keep their money? Does that help at all? Any feedback?
Yeah, it does help.
Yeah, it does help. The
It
hot
does help
sheets.
because
Yeah.
showing people,
Mhm.
like, okay, I understand
Yeah.
that it might be far-fetched right
Mhm.
now, but
Mhm.
maybe if you can get a little assistance in with your purchase, you
Mhm.
can possibly be able to make that deal happen.
That's right.
So yeah, down payment assistance is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The market is cyclical. So I'm using Mojo just to go back. I am using Mojo just like you. Um, I'm using the script that I shared, which I'm going to pull up in a short while here. I'm using the script that I'm sharing here. I've gotten so comfortable with it, right, that I've, you know, used it. I still use it for FISBOs, but now I've decided months ago to get even deeper in the water, right? Been applying it and calling off market properties, people who are not even like expecting my call. And that's the most fun yet, because now I don't have to compete with 10,000 other real estate agents. Okay. They're getting select calls. They're sitting down, they're having their lunch and the phone rings. I say, John, they're like, okay, yes, and I go through with them and they're like, well, I'm not really interested in selling. That's my favorite. I'm really not interested in selling. And then I lean into it and say, I totally get it, man. Like, I called you out of the blue, you know? But if you were to sell, right, what would make financial sense to you? What would make financial sense right now? Like, I know you don't even like, you probably haven't looked at the market, right? But what's what makes sense to you? And oftentimes they're like, man, I really don't know. And I say, okay, well, you know what? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you a free equity analysis. When's the last time you had one? And they'll say, or the other way around, when's the last time you had a free equity analysis? And they're like, I don't know. What's that? Oh, glad you asked. And then I pour in. You guys all know what that is. So this is how I overcome those objections. But then again, furthermore, this is how confident I've gotten with this script. I'm applying it now to off-market properties where there are less agents, less competition, okay? And the rewards are high. And I do it in communities that I'm comfortable in, that I can speak to, in communities that I don't know anything about too. Like I'm going in all the waters. But the goal is every time you crash and burn on a hang up, you got to make notes. You got to say, okay, 2 things I did well. Heck, I'm making calls, right? Give yourself some love. And then jump into what you could have done differently. Okay, next time I need to not stutter. And then next time I need to just read the script exactly as I see it. Don't add anything. That's a successful script. Okay. And now that you've got comfortable with that script, you can depart from it in some ways, start using different adjectives and so on and so forth. Yeah, I could totally connect with that question. Does anybody else have any questions alike or similar? Or can anybody share what's been working for them as far as making calls?
For me, with the cold calling,
Mm.
I noticed that I been able to, I guess, get their attention more if I ask them if they have a few minutes to talk about
Mm.
the property
Mm.
that we
Mhm.
already know the address to. So it
Mhm.
would
Mm.
be
Yeah.
Rose. But I
Mm.
but I also, and I don't know if I should, based off of your script, if I should change
Mm.
it, but I usually would be like,
Mhm.
Rose, yes. Hi, this is
Mhm.
Shahida. I'm a
Mhm.
local realtor, and I'm wondering, do you have a few minutes to talk about
Mhm.
your property on 123
Mhm.
Main Street?
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Yes. And yeah, I'll breathe through it with you. Yeah, I got a couple of minutes. I got 5 minutes.
great.
How can I help you?
So I saw you previously had it listed
Mhm.
for sale,
Mhm.
and for whatever reason it didn't sell. What
Mhm.
did your realtor communicate to you as the
Mhm.
reason to why it didn't sell?
Um, well, I don't know. I really don't know why I didn't sell. I mean, you tell me. You're the real estate agent. What do you think?
Well, in my honest opinion, and this
Mhm.
is purely based off of the photos, not
Mhm.
because I've seen your home in person.
Yeah.
The photos looked great.
Mhm.
Um, in my opinion, maybe it wasn't priced appropriately. I'd have to
Mm.
run comps on it
Mm.
and possibly view it to see how it
Mm.
looks in person to confirm that.
Okay.
But that's just my immediate impression
Okay.
of as to why it didn't sell.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, well, we're just gonna hold out and wait till next year anyway. I mean, it's the holidays, so it's probably just the holidays, and maybe we just shouldn't have listed it so late in the year. So
May
we'll just
may
wait.
I ask you what prompted you to sell it in the first place?
Oh, I
Initially?
mean, we bought it some time ago, and I mean, ideally, I'd like to move to Charlotte, and I know this great guy named Duane. He's awesome. So I figured maybe he, can help me find a home up there, and I can be closer to family.
I'm sure this Duane character is an awesome dude. And I'd love to help you to find that next home in Charlotte. And I can understand your hesitation in wanting to possibly put your house back on the market. Um, but if you would just give me a few minutes of your time, I'd love to stop by your place,
Okay.
get a chance to know you a little bit better, bring you some
Okay.
Starbucks if you like that, and take a
I love
tour.
Starbucks.
I think everyone loves Starbucks. Um, take a quick tour of your property
Mhm. Mhm.
and
Mhm.
give you
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
thorough assessment of
Mm.
what my thoughts are and for what
Mhm.
it could be sold
Mm.
or what could be changed. So if
Okay.
or when you are ready to put it back on the market,
Okay.
you'll have that information
Right.
readily available. How does that
Gotcha.
sound to you?
Okay. I mean, that works. Yeah. Sure. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be in your neighborhood on Monday around 3
Mhm.
p.m. Does that work for
Mm.
you?
Yeah, three's good.
Okay, wonderful. And just one more question, Rose.
Okay.
Um, are you married? And if so, will your spouse also be able to attend that quick meeting? Because I'd love
Yeah,
to get
he's
his
yeah, he's
feedback.
retired. So he'll be home. So you'll be
Oh,
fine. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Mhm.
And what I'll do is on Tuesday before
Mhm.
coming out to you guys,
Mhm.
I will send you a confirmation text
Mm.
and ask you what you'd like me to pick up from Starbucks for the
Aw.
2 of you. And I look forward to meeting you then.
Okay. Sounds good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Rose, for your time, and I look forward to seeing you have an awesome weekend.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
All
Bye.
right. Bye. Okay. Look at you, Shahida. Look at you. Knocking down deals. All right. So
I'm
Shahida, give me,
Killed
trying.
it. She killed it. She killed
yeah, look at
it.
Shahida.
I'm
Uh-uh.
trying.
And you want to knock out my teeth. Yours are so nice. Like, I can't compete without teeth. Okay. So Shahida, give me 3 things you did well.
Um, I asked permission for their
Mm-hmm.
time
Mm-hmm.
versus
Yeah,
um
you did.
rushing. I know, and this was just for me tweaking
Mm-hmm.
my initial cold calling
Mm-hmm.
and getting
Mm-hmm.
nowhere and speeding.
Mm-hmm.
The New Yorker in me talks a mile a minute, so I learned to slow it
Yeah.
down
Ha ha ha. Yeah.
and
Okay, it's 2
just
things.
try to remain calm and less
Mhm.
nervous
Okay, that's
when
3.
speaking to them.
Okay. Now, if there's 2 things you can change, what would that be about that call? What would you change?
I like the way when we were role playing, the way you
Mhm.
added my name throughout the
Mhm.
conversation.
Mhm.
So I would want to,
Mhm.
I think maybe do it a couple more times. I know I
Okay,
did it more than once, but I
you
think
did.
maybe I can do
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. It's
I
a nice
still
name too. So go ahead. Yeah.
I think I might have been a little bit too chatty. I don't know. I feel like I was a little
Mm.
chatty
Mm. Okay.
when I was asking
Mm-hmm.
for permission to
Yeah.
have that conversation with them. I don't know if it was too
Gotcha.
soon or not, but that was
Okay.
just my
Okay.
initial thoughts.
Okay. Okay. I think that's okay. Great feedback for yourself. And this is what you want to do after every call, no matter how good the call gets, no matter if you get the appointment, you got to do that. If you're not doing it, then it's going to be really tough to grow. Um, and I love the fact that you made the connection of how I ran my call against this one, right? And what you would obviously add. Um, and yes, I'm guilty of the same thing too. Being a New Yorker, former New Yorker, uh, we have a tendency to be like blah, full
Yes.
sentence.
Yes.
So had to learn to slow it down for the sake of gaining more trust. Now, for the audience on this call, can anybody give one thing they liked and one thing that they would have changed about this call for a Shahida? Anyone? One thing you liked and one thing you would change. Not all at once.
I would say that, I mean, I really like how she made the conversation flow.
Mm.
I, as you can see,
Mm.
we all have this little tweak that every time we're just trying to talk, we just tend to do so that part, yes, definitely I will try to like practice it more and more
Mm-hmm.
so we don't end up like stuttering or saying
Right.
something that it might uh for them it might sound like not accurate, like
Yes.
100% what you're saying, and you really want to get their attention, but
Right.
but at the same time you don't want to sound too pushy.
Gotcha. Gotcha. No, I totally get it. I totally get it. You don't want to sound too pushy. Nobody likes pushy people, right? Well, persistence
Exactly.
and pushy is 2 different things. I'll add that though. Pushy and persistence. I mean, okay, dang it, it's the same thing. All right.
Right.
Um, the goal is to not be rude. All right. Because I've gotten some of my greatest appointments and built my greatest um, personal relationships with clients over the phone by being persistent. Okay. And she was like, no, no, I know. I said, it's free information. She was like, it is free information. She couldn't stop saying, she couldn't let that go. Free? Like, but she told me no at least 4 or 5 times. And the best part was I did it for my team. They were all on the Zoom call and they were listening to the call and they were like, oh my gosh, Duane is so pushy. And then when I got the appointment, they were like, oh my gosh, she got the appointment, you know? So persistence and pushy is all about what you think it is. If you think of being pushy as a negative, then you may want to use the word persistent, all right? Because persistent people are never considered pushy. They tend to be thought of as people who are getting what they want, right? Because they're asking for it, and they're maybe changing the way they're asking for it, but they are successful in life because they never stopped asking. And your job as a real estate agent is to be a professional asker. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's your job. Your one and only job is to be and to build. This is how you build leads. You are a professional asker. Because Shahita's gonna kick my teeth in a few minutes here, right? I told her I would. Let her get a swing at it. But my goal is to get the appointment, and maybe I won't get it, right? Because I don't know how hard Shakita kicks. But if I don't ask, right? What does the Bible say? He who has not hasn't asked not. You have not because you ask not. That's the goal. That's the role we're in. We don't ask not. We will have not. All right. Shahida, you want to kick my teeth in now? I'm ready.
Of course. Let's
Of
go.
course. My goodness, I've never seen someone ready like you yet. Nice to meet you. Oh. But before we start, did my feedback connect with you though? Did it resonate with your experience?
Yes, and I didn't realize until Marie had mentioned it that I said a lot. So now
It's in your head. Oh, goody. Yes. Thank you, Marie.
So
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that, Marie.
Yeah.
Thank you
See?
very much.
Look at
You're
that.
welcome. I
Praise
also
God.
I put myself in that in your shoes because I tend to do that. So I'm trying to practice it as much as possible before
Mhm.
heading to the calls because it is tempting. And yeah, you don't know the person, but at the same time you want to sound assertive. Like when you're
That's
giving
right.
information and even when you're
Yeah.
asking the question, you want to be
Mhm.
sure that the person is on the phone. It's not, okay, you know what,
Mhm.
this person is asking too many questions. But at the same time,
Right.
like, okay, it's making a sense and
Yeah.
giving me pointers like, okay,
Mm.
oh, okay, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, you know
Yeah.
what, I'm actually interested at.
Right.
So
Right. Right. Right.
I
So,
get that as well. So
okay.
I'm glad you're accepting my my point.
Listen, you are not the alone in that everyone has like their tick. This is what you're using to buy more time, right? So I can get my thoughts in order. So here's how you overcome it, right? Forget that you do it. The idea is, what am I going to do about it to fix it? Okay. There are a lot of steps. This AI can tell us how to get rid of the challenge, right? What I did to get rid of the challenge, I mean, it's hard and it's easy. Well, it's hard to be consistent, right? But obviously, by reminding myself, I'm not going to say does help. But the reason why we use the word or in place of the pause, just say nothing. Like that silence, it's only in your head that it's a long silence, but it really just a short silence. It's you breathing and then speaking again. Okay. And if you want to test it out, talk to yourself in the mirror. Yeah. Ring, ring, ring in front of the mirror, or read a book or talk in front of the mirror. Whatever you're trying to figure out what you can do but if you already have a script that you memorized, or if you're role playing with yourself, do it in front of the mirror and make sure the eye contact is to the mirror. So this way, when you're talking to someone in person and you have that eye contact, you're going to be able to be accustomed to making eye contact and speaking through it versus breaking eye contact to catch your thoughts and looking around the room for the words. That's a human tendency. And as a matter of fact, when you talk to people in person, you're going to want that eye contact. That eye contact is everything. It is everything. So thanks for bringing that up. I do it too. And right now, I'm even challenging myself to stay away from the yums. But it's something that we do. But yes, great feedback, and we can all do something about it, right? That's the best part about being human beings. Anyone else has any feedback before I do the last role play for the night?
I can add a feedback about the Can you hear me?
Yes, please
Okay.
do.
Well, I took something called Toastmasters, and they really drill you on that. But an added benefit, whenever you add, well, I said it now, but whenever you for the silence, the added benefit of that is that you also bring suspense. So whenever you're gonna say something, and especially if it's something of interest and you're trying to come up with it, if you stay silent, it brings more suspense that they want to hear you more. So they're more interested in what you're saying. So that's one of the
Yep.
added benefits of adding the silence or to your replacement of the or whatever
tick you do.
Yeah, whatever tick you do. So
Yep.
yeah, and don't try. I have to get back and practice myself, but yeah, I remember that was one of the things that they used to teach us a lot on that.
Heck yeah, and makes you a great storyteller at the end of the day, because everyone loves a great story.
Yes,
no doubt. The dog was this big and we ran. Oh my gosh! Start throwing ums in there, it's not as attractive. But you pause, like the dog was running, and like, oh my God, did he get him?
yeah.
Yeah, that's a fact for sure. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing. That's a great point. The suspense, the storytelling, it's all a narrative that we're all going to use when we run out of questions. We create a story to build that connection with our clients. Excellent. All right, it's teeth kicking time, man. Let's go. Shahida, you're up. Let's get it. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go. All right. I'm gonna call you. Okay. All right. And who do you want to be? I'll let you choose. Who do you want to be?
What do you mean? Do I want
In
to be?
terms of, oh yeah. So you're gonna be a seller. What kind of seller do you want to be? What do you sell it?
Well, I thought you were trying to sell to me.
Yeah, I'm the agent. You're the would-be seller.
Okay, so I'm going to be a FISBO.
FISBO. Okay. Mask on, mask off. Okay. I'm kidding. That was a joke. All right. I never do a mask on, but I do take a deep breath and I look at my script. I know who I'm calling. It's going to be a FISBO. I have an idea of the general objections I generally get, but then I just make the call. All right. So here we go. Shahida. Here we go. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello?
Shahida?
Yes. Who's
Hey,
calling?
hey, Shahida. This is Duane. I'm a local realtor in the area. Let me scroll back up. I'm sorry. Got a question for you.
Another realtor.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Let's take it from the top. Shahida,
Yes.
got a quick question for you, Shahida. The property on 123 Main Street. You still don't own that, do you?
Yes, I do. Who's
Oh,
calling?
fantastic. Excellent. Hey, Shahida, my name is Duane. I'm a local selling realtor in the area, Duane Clarke, that is. And I'm aware of a few buyers that I have in my database interested in homes just like that one. So my question for you, Shahida, is would you be open to selling the property if it made financial sense?
I'm currently trying to sell it on my own.
Oh, awesome. All right. Well, how's that coming along for you?
I've had a lot of interest and
Yeah.
I prefer to sell it on my own instead of dealing with a realtor.
Instead of dealing with a realtor. Gotcha. Well, I totally understand. But it's great that I called you then because, I mean, I already have someone who's actually interested in a home that looks just like this one. So can you give me some feedback? How long you been living in the community?
Couple of years.
A couple of years. All right. What do you like about it?
It's a good area and it's
Yeah?
close to the shopping.
Hmm.
places that I like to go shopping. So
Okay. Okay. And you mentioned a couple of years. I mean, is there a reason why now is a good time for you to sell, or I mean, did something change?
I decided I wanted to be an investment property instead of my primary residence.
Oh, okay. Okay. And how's that coming along for you? Are things moving along for you? Are you getting feedback and a reaction from the public for the home?
Yes, I've gotten some positive feedback.
Okay. Okay. So how long you been on the market now, if you don't mind me asking?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay, so it's fresh. Excellent. Excellent. No offers yet. Have you?
I had one, but it wasn't good.
It wasn't where you wanted to be. Okay. So aren't you glad I called?
Not really.
No. What do you mean? Why?
I've had a million realtors phone me, everyone
Yeah.
promising me the same thing. You guys all
Ah,
do the same.
yeah. Okay.
And I
Mhm.
don't feel that there's anything you could do that I can't do myself. I know how to use Canva to do flyers. I
Mm,
can do an open house and
yeah.
post it on Zillow.
Okay.
So there's really
Okay.
no need for me to speak with a realtor. Zillow gives me zestimates
Mhm.
of how much it's
Mhm.
worth, so I know
Mhm.
what to list it at
Mhm. Mhm.
online. So there really is no need for me to
Mm,
get
mm.
a realtor involved.
No, no, look, I agree with you. I mean, like, why shouldn't you be able to sell your home on your own? I mean, after all, you know everything about it, right? Likely more than I can say. So I totally understand. I totally agree. And at the end of the day, right? I mean, it's really about the commission, why you want to sell it yourself, or is it just because you just prefer to sell it on your own?
I prefer to sell it on my own, and
Okay.
if I didn't, I have a cousin that's a realtor anyway.
Oh,
So
okay. Okay. So it is a commission. It's just so much more you'd rather than sell it on your own. I get it. I totally get it. Okay. So then it's been 3 weeks and you've been getting a little bit of low ball offers. I totally understand. Um, now, in terms of the price point, the interesting thing is that I called you and I didn't know you had your home on the market, which is pretty interesting. Um, Most oftentimes I do, and I didn't look up, Zillow. I mean, like, is that where you posted the home on Zillow? Anywhere else?
Zillow, Craigslist,
Yeah. Okay.
Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah. But yet I didn't know your home was for sale. Totally understand though. This is a common challenge in most sellers. They're going to post where they know, right? But the interesting thing is buyers shop in different pools. Um, for example, when I bought my home, my wife found our home in realtor.com, and I'm not gonna kid you. Like I never check realtor.com, but this is somewhere where she was able to find the home, and it was a great choice. I mean, are you currently like on like there are more than just Zillow. There's probably like 500 other platforms to post on. Um, are you open to posting on those platforms as well? Is that something that you'd be interested in?
If I'm able to without using a realtor,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay. Okay. Totally understood. Totally understood. But what's more important though? Is it more so about the sale of the property, or is it about just not doing it with a realtor?
I just don't see the value
Mm-hmm.
in having a realtor
Mm-hmm.
take money out of my pockets to do the
Mm.
exact same thing
Yeah.
that I can do.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So
And I
let's
find
see.
it hard to believe that you did not know that
Yeah.
that my house is on the market when
Mm-hmm.
I've had a bunch of realtors phone
Mm-hmm.
me
Mm.
already.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, and again, that's totally understandable, right? Because we use tools that's we pay for, right? And I totally can understand how you feel about getting so many calls, but honestly, I didn't know your house. Um, so it doesn't make it that you shouldn't sell, right? Or that you should sell with a real estate agent. It just means that I didn't see the home, and at the end of the day, it's all about marketing and getting the right touches. Is the home also on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram? Are you doing any marketing there?
I have done a YouTube
You
video.
have done a
Yes.
YouTube video? Okay. Well, as a recommendation, right? Just because there are some other FISBO buyers that I've spoken to in the past, what they've used, they use websites like FISBO.com. Maybe that will be of some assistance for you. You can post a home there and see how that goes. Um, Because at the end of the day, I do want you to be successful. I think that selling a home is no easy trade, and I know you're getting a lot of calls. So obviously, you know, you're pretty much over this the number of calls you've been getting.
No, I know that in order for me to sell it, I
Mhm.
have to get calls,
Yep.
so
Mhm.
that comes with the territory.
It sure does. It sure does. How are showings going? Are you managing the showings like in the evening? Because I know you're not working with a realtor. So how's that going along?
It's fine.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
work for myself, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
home. I'm here whenever someone needs to come and see it,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not an inconvenience at all.
Okay. 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 So how about this? I do have someone who's interested in looking at the home. Generally, what I do is I go to the home and do a video tour, and give them opportunity to come see the home the second time around. Well, what's your availability for me to come by and take a look, mornings or afternoons?
Well, I have a video tour that you can view on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
if you have a buyer, you and your
Mm-hmm.
buyer can come
Mm-hmm.
together.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Well, you know, my buyer doesn't live in Charlotte. So generally they're expecting me, just like if you had a real estate agent, to make sure they're making the right choice. And I think right now you don't have any offers. And at the end of the day, this does work for you or for us, right? We could be on our way to the closing table
You're welcome to have them contact me and I can give them a video tour on my phone.
on your phone. Okay. Well, I think that what I'll do is pretty much just take down your information, right? See if that's something that they're open to. Um, Oftentimes I don't find the home exactly that they're looking for, but the simple fact that you do, and it seems like you have something more personal with real estate agents. I probably will just connect with you maybe a couple weeks from now. Maybe you're still around, and we'll see what happens. Sounds good?
Sure. Okay.
All right. Thanks again. Bye bye.
You're welcome.
All right. Done. Okay. I'm gonna give myself some feedback here. Okay. What did I do really well? I thought. I kept calm, right? I went through her objections. I still tried to book the appointment. Um, um, I'll jump into what I could have done differently. I felt like generally my calls never go that way, okay? Like ever, okay? Even when they don't want to work with a real estate agent. Um, Generally, they want to get the home sold and they're welcome to seeing someone come by to do a video tour or maybe even um, you know follow up down the road. But um, I'll say that what I wish I did differently was propose selling the home, but I don't want to propose selling the home until I get there, right? Because at the end of the day, right, I did call and say, hey, I had someone who was interested in the home. Okay. But no, my calls never really go like that. Nonetheless, I thought it was a great exercise because if it did go that direction, how would I manage myself? And if you and the other thing I liked that I did was I kept the call positive. The only thing I wish I didn't say was it seemed like you have something going on with realtors. You said you got some things going on. You got some real issues, lady. Okay. You you need to talk to somebody, okay, lady?
Well, I think a highlight for you was it was good that you
Mm,
were still trying to provide resources to help me sell with the
mm,
other sites
mm.
that you had mentioned in
Yeah.
addition to using
Hmm.
our worst enemy, Zillow.
That's right.
Um, and the other
Mm,
thing, goodness, it escapes me now. But
mm,
so it's the
mm,
resources,
mhm,
and you were still persistent.
mhm, mhm,
Um,
mhm.
and
I wish I was more persistent. I do. I do. I really do. It's been a while since I've had that exposure before. But more persistent for me sounds like this. It sounds like, okay, so you don't want to work with real estate agents. I totally get it. So at the end of the day, right, if I can get this home sold for you within 32 days, would that be a problem for you? What are you going to say? Go ahead, pick it up. if I can get this home sold for you, Shahida, for in less than 28 days, how would that make you feel?
It would make me feel great, but
It,
what could
exactly
you
why
do
I'm
to make
calling.
that
And that's
happen?
exactly why I'm calling, Shahida, okay? Because you have a home to sell. I have a database of buyers looking for homes. What is your availability for me to come by, take a look at the home, see if it's a good fit for me to sell the home? But if I can get this done in 28 days, all the better.
That would have sold me. And
Okay.
that was the other thing, when you were
Mhm.
talking about,
Mhm.
bringing your client, I mean, when you were talking about doing the
Mhm.
video
Mhm.
for your client,
Mhm.
if you had said,
Mm.
when I mentioned, you could bring your client with you,
Mm.
I think if you had still said,
Mm.
okay, how about I still just come and do a video tour myself, a live tour to go ahead and see it myself for my clients? Would
Mhm.
you be open to that since you're already open
Mm.
to showing potential buyers your home?
Mhm.
I think maybe if you had
Yeah.
presented that way instead of
Semantics, yeah, there's some
doing it
semantics in there and the verbiage, like saying that or the other, you know.
right,
Fact, that's good feedback. Yeah.
just
Okay.
to get your foot in
Yeah.
the door,
In
and
the door.
maybe the next
Absolutely.
day when you come, I wouldn't be as icy as I was over
Absolutely.
the phone,
Absolutely. Yeah.
just because
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah. See,
harder
I
in
had to
person.
tap into 2.0, Duane, for Shahida, because it's been a while since I've had that kind of. Generally, I have people laughing and stuff like that, whatever. But I think that your resistance I haven't seen in quite a while. So much so that, and I have a script for that too, that says, if you saw my persistence, how my tone changed, and even when you started talking, I cut you off. Did you catch that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's now that's 2.0. Duane is getting persistent. Like, okay, this is gonna be a dogfight. Okay, here we go. I'm getting disappointment. I'm getting disappointment. All right. 28 days. If I don't get this home sold for you in 28 days, I throw myself out. I throw myself out. So therefore, what you're getting, Shahida, I'm going to spend at least $1,500 on marketing. Okay. I'm going to be doing open houses. Okay. And if I get this home sold in 32 days or 28 days, right? To your point, you're going to feel great. And just so I understand what great is, Shahida, on a scale of 1 to 10, what does great look like for you?
Selling it within the 28 days.
Yeah. So would you give that a 10? Would you give it a 4? What would you give that?
An 11 out of 10.
An 11 out of 10. Let's go. Okay. What's your availability? Mornings or afternoons? I'm booking the appointment. Okay.
Damn it, Duane, come on down.
Give me hype. I don't like the word no. I don't do so well with the word no. All right. I don't do so well with the word no. No does not exist in my vocabulary. What? No, what? No. Well, I don't know what that means. Yeah. So now this is 2.0, Duane. I'm tapped in. Okay. I'm talking a little faster now. Let's go.
But have you had
Mm.
conversations similar to it
Yeah.
where, you had to give like the
Mm-hmm.
30-day
100%.
presentation, and then
100%.
did you sell it within that time
I
frame? And
sure
if
did.
not,
I sure did. Hell yeah. I sure did. By the skin of my teeth. Okay. So called someone. She told me to come by. And then as I'm driving there, she cancels on me. And I'm like, okay, I figured I understood why she canceled. Okay. I'm a guy, I'm a stranger on the phone that she somehow felt a connection with to come by. But now it's just like, oh my God, I'm a single woman. What did I just agree to? All right. So sensing that, I said, hey, listen, we could talk outside in the lawn. Got there. And then as we're talking, she tells me to come inside. Right. And the realtor, she had another realtor on the way. She told him not to come. All right. Now, let me take it a step back. All right. I told her, she's like, Duane, she's like, I don't know. I don't want to sell the house. I had it on Zoom, but Zillow, I'm not selling the house. I said, listen, I can get this done in 28 days. How would that make you feel? She said, 28 days? I said, 28 days. I will spend $1,500 or more, whatever it takes to get the home sold. But I spend up to $1,500 of my own money. So if I don't sell this home, I take my bag, I take my brochures, I take everything, and I walk out. Okay. However, if you like me and you think that I'm doing a great job and things are moving smoothly and you like the effort, then you can add an extra week, extra day as needed. How does that feel? And she said, okay. Listen, I did an open house every weekend. Okay. Sold that home in 22 days. All right. 22 days. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That was no joke. But it showed that I had something to lose. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I spent a
Right.
ton of money to get that thing sold, but end of the day, thankfully, I had two offers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Have you had instances like that with FSBOs where they have the home overpriced and you've convinced them to lower it based off of your comps?
Um, Actually, yes and no. They're like, we don't care about your comps. F your
Right.
comps, right?
Right.
Part of my French for this room. Um, but I keep the conversation positive. Okay, so let's role play that right now. Okay, so you want to sell this home for 750,000, Shahida?
Yes, that's what it's worth.
750. Okay, my comps came back at around 655. So we're off by, it's a difference of $100,000. I could totally understand this. This is the number you want to get. Okay, so what happens if you don't get to your number? What happens?
Well, I just feel like I should get the number because Zillow told me that that's what my home is
Mm.
worth.
Zillow. Gotcha, man. Gotcha. And thank you for sharing that. Zillow, people do really use Zillow. 90% of the market actually refers to Zillow. My question for you though is, when was the last time Zillow came by the house? Yeah, I mean, and I'm not being facetious, but do they know about the updates you've done anywhere in the house? Have you come by and taken a look at it? Because they haven't seen mine yet. They don't do door to door. So how soon can I come by, look at the home, and give you some real feedback? Not that I don't want you to get your 750, but I want to help you set the expectations working with a local professional like me. Mornings or afternoons.
I okay, so you got the appointment, but I just have to say, once you made that comment about
Mhm.
did Zillow come over to my house, or when was the last time they did it, you just dropped the mic and you walked out the door. So so I like that line because it's true that they don't know, or it's a fictional person that
Mhm.
doesn't exist, that doesn't know about my
Yeah.
upgrades. But how do we not use that to, I guess, basically assume that maybe it's worth more than what Zillow estimated because they didn't take those upgrades into consideration.
That's why I'm calling. That's why I'm calling to secure the appointment and give you boots on the ground understanding. Because
Or
everything else,
Shahida,
go ahead.
I don't mean to cut you guys off, but
Go.
or maybe the lack of upgrades that was done, Zillow has no idea what you have or have not done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, yeah, when he said that, that was like, damn, it was a uppercut, but at the end of the day, maybe you did do upgrades that's making it maybe worth more than your
Mhm.
750, or maybe you hadn't done upgrades that were, up to par and your property is, subpar,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
him being local,
Mhm.
he's able to come out and physically see what it is and give you a more realistic, you know, um, idea of where you might be, where the numbers might make better sense for you to get sold as fast as you need.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if I mean, that's been my biggest hurdle with the FSBOs. Here I go with again. Damn it, Maria. But with the FSBOs, Zillow has been the worst, the worst conversation piece. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by the ums. And so it's been the biggest hurdle. I'm sorry, the biggest hurdle for me because people are so reliant on those numbers. And I just have a hard time coming up with any type of responses to go ahead and deter their thoughts about that actual website. But
Yeah.
you know, when he made that comment, that sort of resonated with me. And like what you said with regards to they don't know, which is aligned with what he said.
Mhm.
Is there anything that either of you or anyone can propose that could be said that
Hmm.
basically confirms where Zillow's even getting this number from?
I
That
can tell you.
a lot of times is off the mark.
Yeah, I can tell you. Does anyone else want to lean in though before I talk about it? Anyone want to lean in? Talk about where you think Zillow's getting their numbers?
Well, I believe that they just get a circumference of where the property is and just takes an estimate on based on the numbers that like the, let's say a quarter mile. I don't know what's the distance on it, but I think it's like a quarter mile or half a mile radius, and just takes all the property in there, not considering the differences between one and the other. Am I correct?
Right, you hit it right on the head. Right on the head. It's a numbers game for them. You know, they don't consider, they don't, so the number one reasons why property doesn't sell, price point and condition. Well, location, right? 3. Price point, condition, and location. And they don't care about location, man. They're just into the numbers. Price point and condition is everything. So if you're with a client, you have a listing and your listing's not selling, it's going to be one of those 3 factors or all, because you can't pick up a house, right? So if it's location, but price point and conditioning, 100%. And it's our job as professionals, right? When we do our listing appointment, to lead with that even. We're in a market right now where listings are sitting longer. So as a result, what I'm doing in my business, I'm leading with that conversation. Not necessarily so that I make an excuse that why the home's not going to sell, but you need to know the temperature in the room. You're not the only, yeah, you love your home, your home is so unique, let alone we're competing with other listings. And this is what they're prepared to do. They were prepared to make changes on their price point to win. And I'm not saying you make a change, but at some point, I will circle back with you and have that conversation. And we will need to be able to move accordingly. We need to be able to pivot quickly. But yeah, that's right. That's exactly what Zillow is doing. They're just taking a circumference based upon homes that have sold, and that's it. And put it on the market, put it on the internet as the number. So yeah, 100%. Anyone else have any questions or any feedback or any thoughts before we wrap?
I do gotta have a question.
Sure.
Like I know the most important part is that first 30 seconds, I won't say maybe even 6 seconds when you're grabbing attention. And I always was taught to start at a high tone, like more of an exciting tone. But lately I've been reading this book called Never Split the Difference. It's an FBI
Mr. Voss.
Mr. Voss, exactly. He says to start out with that DJ voice, which is more that monotone, slow.
That's right. That's right.
And I see that you speak that way. So has that worked for you?
It does work, man. It's crazy that you're saying that. It really does work. Staying smooth, not getting, being unflappable, you know.
But but mom get because throughout the call, yes. But what about that first attention hour? Because I have the course from Jordan Belfort that he talks about is that when he first started, you have to sound excited, like hey Mike, how you doing? Something
I
like
see your
that.
point. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, opposed to that monotone. And to be quite honest, I've had a hard time with trying to get used to it to bring myself down. So I know it's more my learning curve, I would say it. But I see
I
that
got
you
you.
speak that way, so that's why I'm asking you that.
Yeah. So I read the book also, right? It's a great book. Um, so my recall is not going to be very high right now, but um, I generally start the call with some excitement as well. Okay.
Yeah.
But not too much. I don't want to be overexcited because then I don't want to be
Yeah.
like, hey, how you doing, man? No, that's not the call. Um,
Okay.
yeah. So you can have the DJ voice with some excitement, right? What does that sound like for you?
Okay.
For me, it's going to be like, what's your name?
James,
James. So I'm gonna be like, let me see, ring, ring, ring.
are you hello?
James.
Yes.
Hey, James. James, this is Duane. I'm a local selling agent in the area, man. I just saw your home, and I got some buyers who are very interested in homes that look just like this one. Now, James, I know I'm calling you out of the blue, man. Um, what would make financial sense for you to consider selling?
I'm not sure. I really haven't thought about it.
You haven't really thought about it. I totally understand, man. I mean, I'm calling you out of the blue after all right? So your property, and I'm gonna stop right here, right?
Okay.
So, but did you feel some excitement, some level of like, um,
So it
like,
showed some type of
like,
authority, I guess it would be.
I don't know anyone on the call did, right? But what I don't want to sound like is, hey, James, how you doing, man? Click, hanging up. We all know that tone that you could get on the phone when it's a telemarketer. You're hanging up. You're hanging up. So, um, to answer your question, um, you just know what you don't want to sound like. Okay.
Okay.
And the DJ voice is a slow voice. It's not a fast. If I say, hey man, what's going on? I'm moving too fast. Right? The DJ voice
Okay.
is it's slow, it's has a little speed to it, right? But it rarely ever spikes. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we don't spike. Like how you're talking to me right now, like we're you if you called me like this, I might be familiar with you. I might be like, okay, he doesn't sound like someone I don't want to talk to. Who what? Yes, sir. Well, so what can I do for you? Who is this? You know? And the DJ voice goes further if you're getting a lot of resistance, right? So if you remember, right,
Okay.
he had the bank robbers, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then and the DJ voice came in to give to I guess where he was mirroring, right? That was the exercise he was making. It was the mirror. And the mirror was like he would say things like, I want a helicopter. You want a helicopter? All right. And real estate is um I'm tired of realtors. You're tired of realtors? Um, that's the mirror. And now you're going to say, yeah, because they're boom, 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 boom. I can't stand them. I understand. You can't stand realtors for that reason. I understand. But the whole idea of that exercise that is it Tony Voss, I believe, or something Voss, but is the mirror and being able to
This was.
use a DJ voice with that mirror. So yeah, just yeah, stay away from
Yeah.
the high
Well,
pitched
that
thing.
portion I did, but
Mhm.
yeah, the other thing is that when to grab that, keep the attention when you, because I noticed when you're first gonna take that call, those 6 seconds are the most
Mhm.
critical because that's gonna give you the door to so they can continue listening. And the DJ voice, he says that that's the way that you should start out.
Yeah,
I started
yeah.
trying it out, and I haven't been
Mhm.
that successful in that aspect.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm more on. Um,
I'm listening.
I'm more. I'm just more of like, hey, what's up, guy? Yeah, that's that type of monotone. I like,
Mm.
hey, Chris, or hey, whoever.
Yeah,
And that's how I go by the first name, and then I just
yeah,
continue that. And then once
right.
I ask him, look, do you have 30 seconds? Then that's when
Hmm.
I lower my voice
And
so I
how's
can
the
greet.
asking for permission for 30 seconds working for you?
Well, that once I get there, and they're well,
Hmm.
right now with the cold calls for real, because I'm basically brand new to real estate.
Hey,
Well,
welcome
I used to
aboard,
do,
bro.
thank you. I have like a month with the license, but I used to do car sales and export. Whenever I did that type of sales, it always worked for me for the 30 seconds. You got 30 seconds.
Mm, mm,
And then once like the reason of the call, and then now
yeah.
I would lower my voice in that aspect.
Yes.
That
Mhm,
that would make them listen to me. But like
mhm,
this, I said, let me try
mhm,
this new, because this is a new script. I'm trying everything new, so I'm
mhm.
still
Yep.
memorizing the script. I'm actually still creating it, but
Mhm.
so I've been trying new things. So I
Yeah.
noticed a lot of
Yeah.
things being thrown at the same time. So
That's
I've
right.
been having a little bit of a hard time
Mm,
opening,
yeah.
getting
Right.
that first step.
Right. 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 So I've seen agents. So the I'll tell you, I'll share my challenge as well. All right. You shared your challenge. Let me share mine as well. My challenge is asking for permission. I don't want to. I don't want to ask for permission. If you notice in my script, I just go into it like, I say, your name, and I say, quick question. Quick question to me means quick listen.
Uh-huh.
Okay. This is something that I really thought through. Quick question means quick listen. All right.
Yeah.
I can quick listen. Quick listen is okay. The property on A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3. You still don't own that, do you? Because I know you used to, but you don't own that anymore. Do you? Do you? You still don't own that, do you? Do you? Do you still own that? You still don't own that, do you? Um, no, I don't still own that. Oh man, just missed it. Gosh, you already sold the property. Yes, I'm moving on. Click. Okay, but I got my question in. But if I want to, I could take it further. Did but the whole point is the 6 seconds you pointed out. If I ask for permission, the answer is no. I don't want you. Like, hey, is this a good time to talk? No. Click. It's doing nothing, right? I'm taking you through versions of my my past scripts. Um,
Okay.
uh, um, is there a better time to call you? No. Click. Or better yet, yeah, call me in an hour. I call, they don't pick up. They got
Yeah.
me again. Um, um, oh, here it goes. Um, I know you're getting a call from a lot of realtors. You got a quick minute? No, click. I know you're getting a call from a lot of realtors. I'm a realtor too. Don't hang up. Click. Like what? The moment I changed it to quick call, like it kind of changed for me. Okay, it did change for me. And sometimes I'll say things like, um, I'll play around with the 30-second thing, right? Um, but I rarely, when it doesn't work, I roll back right to my old ways because I'm always looking to evolve. But my coaches, they're telling me I need to ask for permission. If I ask for permission, the call goes so much better. Well, a lot of people don't have time for permission. They're just like, who is this? I don't know you. And what? Click.
But actually, what in with the I like the quick question, right? And I didn't
Yeah.
see the perspective, but if you really look at it, you are asking for permission.
Mm. Or
Yeah,
am I?
you
I'm not
just see
waiting
it.
for an answer though. I'm just
Yeah,
moving
exactly.
through it.
But
Yeah.
but if they don't have that, look, I don't got time right now. They'll cut you off where they can.
Well,
I'm
let's
gonna
do it.
try
Cut
that.
me off. Cut me off when I call you, right? What's your name one more time? James. I thought it was James.
James.
Okay. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
James? Hey,
Yeah,
James.
this is James.
James, I got a quick question for you, man. I probably don't want you through Main Street. Cut me off though. Try to cut me off when I start.
You know something? I don't have time right now.
Of course,
I
of
really
course.
don't have time right now.
Hey, I totally get it, man. I just wanted to give you a call and just find if you still own that property. I want you through Main Street. Do you still?
Okay.
Push back. Give me
Yeah,
more
I do.
pushback. You do.
Okay.
But no.
You know something?
Say
But
I
I
ain't
don't have
got
time
time
for
for
this.
this. Hey, completely understood,
I
man. I
don't
know you
got
don't have
time for
time
this.
right now. But you know what? 30 more seconds. You still don't own the property, do you? It's a
But you
yes or
know
no
something? But
question,
I don't want to
James.
answer that right now. No.
You know what, James? You're
Yes.
right. I totally get it. You still do own it. Wonderful, James. James, the reason why I'm calling James is because I actually have someone who's very interested in the property and they want a property that looks just like this one, James, just like this one. Now, James, I don't want to waste your time more than I already have, man. But what would make financial sense for you to talk about selling the property? What would make financial sense, James? Tell me.
So I don't know, but
Perfect.
I don't want to deal with this right now.
Perfect, James. Because you know what? I don't know either. Okay, James. But I want to service my client, and this is what I do to get people to get their home sold, just like you. So, and I called you out of the blue. So, James, what's your availability to come by, take a look at the property real quick, okay? And I can be out of your hair. Mornings or afternoons?
I'm not really gonna do this right now. And I really, if it was a bad pushy, I would have hung up. So
No, that's fine. Maybe he hangs up. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I move on.
okay,
Yeah, I move
yeah,
on. I move on. I don't care. Yeah, I'm not in the business of getting my feelings hurt, right?
yeah,
Because this is rejection business, right?
yeah,
And then so after, yeah, so you know where I'm coming from, James. Yeah, yeah. But you saw
yeah,
how I went through that, right? That's the
yeah,
more, yeah, you get it. And if you were in car sales, right, it's a little different because the car is already drawing them in. All you need to do as a car salesman is to come by and just make them feel comfortable. No pressure. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, not bad, man. Yeah. Want to check it out? Well, I'll get the key right now. Open the door for you. I'll give you the key. I'll take a walk. I'll be back. Right? I never
Well,
sold a car
I
before.
in the car, when you work for the bigger dealerships, they make you call the old customers. And it can be 2-3 years ago, and so you are doing cold calls with previous customers
Previous customers. Perfect. Because they had a reason to be there. And that's how you got their information
at one time.
at one time. Yeah.
So you have to
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
you come up with your own script to be able
Yeah. Yeah.
to sell to bring them back in for
Of
whatever it is.
course.
Hey, look, yeah, hey, John, you know something, man? We're
Mm.
buying you. We're giving top dollars on your used cars. Would you be interested in maybe seeing what we can give you for your car? That's
I don't
kind of
know,
the
James.
that's
Yeah, I see your point. I see your point. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is a little different, but no, why couldn't you use, yeah, you're going to be successful in this business because you already had your teeth kicked plenty of times, so much so that you're going to be when you get this script together, man, you're going to be bad, man. You're going to be unstoppable because you're not afraid to get your teeth kicked in. And that's why doing the role play for everyone hearing this, right? If you're hearing James is talking about using his experience, right? Now, if you thought you don't have experience in sales, you're wrong. Everyone has been selling since the day they were born. You've been selling since the day you were born. You when you when you when you cried, you were selling for attention. You sold,
yeah,
you're selling it to eat because you couldn't talk. You didn't know English, right? You didn't know Spanish. You didn't know anything, right? So you cried. And now as you became, you went to school, you were selling then too, so you had to sell by getting the good grades so that you can either be on the basketball team or be on a soccer team or to be just to go outside like me. Like I got good grades just so I can go outside, okay, let alone play sports. Like I couldn't get enough for sports, just enough to go outside. My parents were strict. But so I've been selling my whole life. I just needed to, coming from my last role was in technology, so I didn't really, but I was selling in technology too. I had to sell myself to get the job. All right, well, I know A, B, C, and D, and I'll stay up late. I have no children, and I'll do whatever you tell me. Where do you want me to do next? They were like, sold. You're hired. Okay. So everyone has sales experience, and if you don't, then you're wrong. You're wrong. You've been sold. You're selling, and you've been sold too. If some of you are already married, right, or have a significant other, you were selling the whole time. Okay, even if you were pursued, right, you did some selling as well. All right, maybe you put on a nice sweater. Or you're selling. You're selling. Does anybody connect with that?
well, I know that I
Yeah,
do because everything is this is sales.
I can too.
Come on
Totally
now.
agree.
Right? Like, come on, like really, do I need to wear jewelry? Do I need this watch? I know plenty of watches that don't cost money. I'm selling. What am I selling? I'm selling something here, I'm lifestyle, whole snap. See that? Boom. That's gonna be on the it's gonna be on my TikTok tomorrow, okay? Selling a lifestyle. So, go to a house. But yeah, we're always selling. So yeah, great job, James, and welcome to the team, man. Awesome for you, bro.
Thanks.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, man. I think, man, I didn't think I talked this long. I do love to talk. But yeah, if you guys don't have any other questions, man, we can wrap this up, man. Does anybody have any other questions, any other feedback before we call it a close?
You've been awesome, Duane. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Dwayne.
you,
But can you send us the script so we could
Yes.